Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Monday the 5th of July, and also the Independence Day for the US. So congrats on that, 1776. It would be nice to see other dictated countries get independence as well in due course. Okay, so the Russell here is being a little bit lazy, but it's probably a little 1 and 2 here, so we'll just expect a little pullback and then a move up from that point. We are seeing it's just really trying to establish itself on 2,300. It's just retesting it, but it should push off in line with the other US indices in due course. And with the S&P 500 here, I feel quite good about this count now that we're actually seeing, well, we've got wave 1 here, and wave 1 was always really quite long, wasn't it, you know, compared to what we were trying to figure out in wave 3. But over time, wave 3 has just churned along. It's just tracking along and doing all the right things. So from this wave 2 here all the way up to intermediate wave 3 here of this one here, we're looking for 5 waves within that particular move. So we've got 1 and 2 here. I'm not still happy about this 3 and 4 here, by the way. It wouldn't surprise me if we need to adjust this and put a larger wave 4 up here. But we'll, as always, we just stay conservative, and we just keep building on each structure as we go. I know that's laborious, and we all like to know the future. Sometimes it's a little bit sort of easier, and sometimes it's a little bit tricky. But in the bigger picture here, it's pretty simple that we're in this really healthy bullish run, and as 1 and 2 here and 3, and then there'll be wave 4. And then there'll be wave 5 as well. So we're going to be, how long wave 5 is, well, that will just depend on a few things. But, you know, if wave 3 becomes the longest, then we can look at wave 1 and wave 5 being the same length. But there was a lot of money pumped into the system here, so we need to take that on board as well. Wave 5 could be quite short, but still, it takes us into, you know, it still takes us into 2022 of being a bull run. So we're going to be in a bull run most of this year by the looks of it. I mean, obviously there'll be corrections, but yeah, look, it's really looking healthy. And of course, you know, stock is driving this. So you know, we really need to bring a lot of the major stocks that we sort of track into this sort of fold to a point anyway. I mean, they're all individual, but they're all the sort of same grouped in sectors and so on. But look, it does present a nice long-term count here, and I'm quite comfortable with that. I don't think it's excessive. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, you know, crypto analysts, you know, going to the moon all the time and all that, going into space and all that sort of stuff, you know. But yeah, steady she goes, Captain. And yeah, I think this is a really good time to buy a lot of stock as well, like Amazon and Facebook and those sorts of things. I think that they've, you know, we've got this nice potential move to ride. So we'll be doing that through the videos. Okay, so as you know, I've got a couple of different counts counting this little area in here, but looking at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here would probably be about the right move for this. So we're just going to drill in here. So looking picking it up from this wave 4, looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I know a lot of folks are not happy with the wave 4 overlapping this situation here. Yeah, but we could always put this wave 4 here. That always fitted here for me as well. It would still leave us with wave. Would still have to look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So it doesn't really matter a big deal. The question is well, if we're right, are we going to see a nice, you know, strong run here? As I mentioned earlier, we've got this wave 2 here, which is going into blue wave 3. We don't need 2 of those. And then we've got this wave 2 and this wave 2. So they're really going into everything's going into its third wave, so the third of the third of the third. So we should see this move off quite strongly through here, and we started to see that on Friday, which is fantastic, you know. So really it's just a matter of holding. Well, everybody's different. Everybody's, you know, there's day traders and people that don't hold overnight, and it doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you know what you're doing and you're happy with that, and always room for improvement, as my wife says, Pete. So yeah, let's just drill in a little bit further from this point. So I'll just go to the hourly chart. So yeah, 1 and 2 here, which is where we've sort of been doing a little bit of work. So we've got 1 and 2 here. And then we counted up here last week as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up through here. So that was all good. And then we're in this situation now where we've got, I think we already had wave 1 here and 2 here, and we're looking up for wave 3. So I haven't really extended it. I've just labeled it here as wave 1 in here and wave 2 here, and then going up for wave 3. I'm not sure if that wave 3 is finished, so I'll just pop that over there, but we still need this little wave 4 here, and then there'll be wave 5 here, so we can put a bit more of a emphasis on that. And wave 5, and then a check back in here, may drop below, come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then up for wave 4, back for wave this for there, so on, and yeah, just continuing to climb really. And we can put in our levels here. I'll just put in 4 there, and I'll just put that as a straight line. It shouldn't give us too much of a problem, but we'll expect the market to work around that. Then we've got group 2 up here, so 65, 72, so 65 pretty roughly there. I'll come and copy this. In fact, we don't need that there, so we're just going to move that up there to 72. Yeah, so that's looking alrighty. So this is the track, that the path we're on here, and there'll be a correction here, a bit larger, and then we'll be moving up there again for that. So all easy peasy. All we need to do is do nothing, just buy. And if you're in leverage, then, you know, it might be good idea, because this is a bit of a long run. You could look at, you know, buying some stock as well, but stock in terms of no leverage, just catch part of this run, you know. Dog snoring in the background. I'll have to get a picture of him so you know who's snoring, and it's not me sleeping on the job. Okay, so that's all good. That's the way I see it, guys and girls. Let's keep bringing this bit of housework here, and it is this big wave 3 that we're looking for up there. We don't need that wave 3. Don't need that. It's all looking good. Yeah, this wave 4 here this wave 3 top here would be a little bit laborious. I don't think I need to go into the intraday any more than we've got here, because what I can say to you is that there's so much momentum in this. It's just going to, you know, continue onwards, and you know, we notice that when there is holidays and folks come back from holidays, they like to buy again. So feeling positive. So that will be in the right tune of events there. So let's have a look at let's have a look at the Nasdaq. So I've got a couple of counts for this as well. It's possible to put this wave 1 here for this, I'd say. And that would be in line with a lot of Nasdaq stocks as well. So I'll come back to that. But either way, what I can say to you is that, well, we were at 14,500. We can see that that's become the support here now. The next level is 800. And if we're talking about 800, we can drill into group 2 as well. And then we got 15,000. So 15,000 is a medium level. So even though the trend is quite strong here, we're still going to see a bit of a dance here. We'll see a classic trading levels pattern sitting here for that. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some sort of ABC pattern here, and then up again. So if you're going to get through this here, you're going to, you might need to take some money off the table at 15,000. That's what I would normally do, and then try to find a way back in over here, and don't feel rushed about that. Or if you can accommodate any swings within this space, well then obviously that's another way to look at it as well. Let's just drill in here. So I'm just going to go to this is the other counts here. So that's going to hit 800 here again as well, and have a bit of a fluff around here before it goes up. But like I said, this can be counted in different ways. So what I can say to you is that 800 is a profit-taking number. So we're going to see something here, but then should be pulled up to the 15,000 at that point. So really trading up to that 15,000 is where we really want to be at that point. Let me just have a look at this on the hourly chart. This is my original count with it, which I can't just chuck out yet, which I kind of want to keep a little bit. So this is just 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then just building up here, which is sort of going okay actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and I've had to put this here. Yeah, I've had to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in here. So I'm not sure if I need to put that here or over here for that, but I'll just pop it there for the time being. Yeah, so I can see this here. So this would also be 1 and 2 in here, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'll still be a little bit more in here. I'll just dramatize that. It probably won't go back to that point, but we'll see this. And then we'll see this come through group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80, and then a push up to 15,000 at that point. So yeah, and so it will do some larger classic trading levels pattern at 15,000, and then move along from that point. So the first things we do here is just respect group 1 above, so that's 300 roughly, and group 2 below. So at first sight, this will be the swing range. This is what you'll need to hold on to. It might get a bit deeper than that. It can come down further here, and it can go higher above here, but that will just give you an idea. If you're going to hold through all of this, then you'd need to that's what you'd need to expect to hold, So you take a certain amount of money off the table so you can handle these swings, and then what you try to do is get back in, taking profit up here somewhere or even above, and then trying to build in back down here. You don't have to be perfect about it. That's the good thing about it. You just get it roughly right, and if you know your levels, then I mean, this wave 4, we haven't broken any trend lines yet. So it'd be typical of this wave 4 to break the trend line, but if it's got a long way to go, then it won't. So if it breaks the trend line, then we know that the trend is slipped back into normal sort of momentum, I guess. If it doesn't break this trend line through here, we know that it's going to be in this channel for a while. You know, it's going to will be still in here. It's still pumping along. You know what I mean? It hasn't shown any weakness at that point because it's normal for wave 4 to break trend channels. So we'll just see how that goes. That will give us an indication of where we're at with this. And you'll start to find a lot of the stock in line with this as well here. Which we'll look at now. Okay, so that's the Nasdaq. To bring across Amazon for the first one. I've rearranged it here a little bit. One of the things that I wanted to just share back here, I've taken my wave 4 back to this point here, and I've also done that for another stock as well. So we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and we're looking at this as a third wave and a fourth wave and a fifth wave here. So any long-term holders for this market, I think are pretty safe at this point. I mean, you know, one of the things that concerned me that we're looking at a top here, but the development of this move up through here, and I can see that this is corrective. So I see that we're going to go higher, and I know double tops are not the end of the trend. So we have to label it this way. So an wave 3 with an A and a B and a C here, and up here for 1 and back for 2. We've probably talked about this before, looking at this as a top or wave 1. It would just be natural for me to talk about it like that. But yeah, so in one way or another, then we're just going to see this move along, and we'll need to figure it out. But it does give you some sort of scope in what we're up for here, and this is just wave 3 here for this. So this bull market's not over by a long shot. So just coming back to the tick chart here for a moment. Now, so we're looking at this being wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. So we know that wave 3 is going to be longer than wave 1, so we need to build this up here. So what I've done here is I've looked at this here a little bit differently. I think I might have to use this as the low and look at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for this as wave 2 on this low and not that low. But I'll come back to that, but I'm just letting you know that I need to check on that. So I put it as green wave 1 here and green wave 2 here, but I don't think that's going to be long. It's not going to be long enough to get me up to the 4,000 area here, because I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here in this. So it's not playing out right for me. So I might have to look at this a little bit differently. I may have to put wave 1 up here. So this is wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and going up for 3. I'll just see how this travels along a little bit. All I really need to do is count the waves, but this wave 4 here makes up a nice wave 4, whichever way I look at it, because if I take this low here, then that will bring us down to the 38.2% retracement level. It just may not be that low there in that case. So I've just got to kind of figure this out a little bit. So what I do know is that, well, I feel that we're going to be going up to the 4,000. It's just how do I count this, that's all. The main point here is that we've talked about being long, so we should be long now. You can get another opportunity here. You can also look for a little classic trading levels pattern in here. You can just buy where we are here now. It doesn't matter. The worst case scenario here is that the little 5 waves that we counted in here haven't played out yet. So it's possible that this is an A and a B and a C wave up here, and then coming back down and then moving off. So just be prepared for that. So on that basis, we're just going to move this stop out of the way. We don't want to get triggered on that, because we know that we're in a bullish run here. So we don't want to we don't want to be flicked out. So I'm just going to put these here, but it's probably not the case. And then I have to redo this count in some way or another. I'm not quite sure how to do it yet, but the takeaway here today is that we are long and we're going higher. It's as simple as that. Tesla, I won't go into the bigger picture here for a moment. I've got a bullish count and a bearish count for this. The bearish count takes us to this point here, which I'll probably have to get rid of, but that's okay. So we were looking at this being, this is just the hourly chart here, so we're looking at this being 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and then 5 here. So I'll just go to the tick chart here. I'm not sure how that's played out. We were looking for the D wave, which, can we call that the D wave? I suppose we have to, don't we? It's a bit, but it's still quite nice in terms of an A and a B and a C, just a little bit news driven. And then we were looking for it to come back into this space. So that's all quite good, really. So that's, we'll call that, it's not really 3 waves yet for this. It's just, or is it in here somewhere if I missed something? Yeah, it could be an A, B, C at this point. That looks like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I don't know. I have to look at the 10 tick chart. But what we need to do now is we need to talk about being long or going long. I mean, we're long here, but we basically want to rebuild that. So if we take the balance point within all of this, I'll just leave that wave D out of it a little bit. So that's going to give us the balance point around here. I'll just check that visually in a moment. Does that look about right? Yeah, it's kind of the center in here. It's here a little bit. What number are we looking over here? So 683. So that's what we want. 683, 685. That's really above the thing there, but that's where we should go long from, I suppose. It's quite possible this could move up to here and then move down again from this point. So what we want to do is we want that first high above the level of 85. So we want that top to be taken out. That's our long trade. Of course, you could buy it back here as well. I just like to buy into the momentum of things just to be a little bit safer so you don't end up with lots of little losses. I was just sort of thinking, do I need to lay this wave 4 here and then put wave 5 on top of this D wave here because it made a new high, and then that puts us into wave 3 here, and then we're going to be going into wave 4, and it's going to be more complicated here, possibly. But the good takeaway point here is that this is an accumulation process here, so this ugliness is really what's going to trigger the next trend, engineer the next trend. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how we label this, but I think it's sort of that small that it doesn't really matter that much. I've only got 3 waves up, so I won't do that, but I have, just so I've pointed it out to you. We've still got this correction to play out here for this. Unless that's an A wave and a B wave and a C wave to that point. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. We want the first high above the 85. That's the safe trade, but you could buy lower here for this as well. Okay, so Facebook. I've also rearranged this as well. So what I've done, I've gone back to my old wave 4 count here. So an A, B, C, D, and E here for this, so a triangle pattern, which may not be the case, and I may have to go back to that again. But yeah, I've put this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then looking at this move up here being wave 3, because it's just this wave 3 has just got the right perspective if it plays out. And I think that the reason that it will play out is because I've got this length of wave 1 here, you know. So I think that we're okay with this. And we went long on top of group 1 here, which is all the right things to do. So we've done everything at the right time. So yeah, I think this is where we are. So I think buying Facebook is a good bet. And we can just really look to go up to the 400 with this. I mean, as much as we love and hate these sorts of, well, they're turning into AI companies, aren't they? You know, because they can churn. They've got all the data. They've got all the big data. So these are the companies to fear, and these are the companies that we're investing in, and these are the ones that are sort of spying on us as well. But still, it has to be viewed as a valued stock. So look, I think this is a good buy, and we've got some positions in here for this. So I think even if we can just get up to the 400 and take some part profit at that point. But if this is wave 1 here, then wave 3 will take us up to this point, and then wave 5 could take us quite easily to 500 at that point. I don't think that's out of the range. Just shooting the breeze here a little bit, of course. But let's just see how this trips across here first, shall we? I don't know if I can add to this on the tick chart. Yeah, we can do a little bit. So let me just go back here for a second. So I'm just going to have to rearrange this as well. I can do that later. It's not a big drama. But this is what we were talking about last time we spoke here on the tick chart. We built in a position here. We were looking at this as being wave 1 here. Pull back for wave 2. We looked at going long in these sorts of areas. We can go long again here. I think this move here is pretty obvious that this little guy here is wave 1 and 2 in here, and that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that'll be 5. So that's all of that there. So that would also be 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here. So we're looking for 5 here to make wave 1, and then they'll be back for wave 2 here. This wave 4 could get a bit complicated. I've just made it simple at this point, but it could end up over here for that. It's not here nor there at the moment. But we could sort of expect something, you know, a deeper pullback and something like this, you know. But the main point here is that we're heading higher, and we've got long trades in, and everything's going according to plan. So I'll leave it at that. And Square, yeah, I'm not worried about Square. It will sort of push up in its own way. It's just had the arrival. It's doing its reaction here, the classic trading levels pattern across this level. So if that's the level here, it's still in this 3-wave move here for this. So if you wanted to buy this again, then this is the area to buy in it here as well. So, but we'll look to buy it over here. We still need this and this. We already have a position down here, but if you don't have a position in here, this is a good place to buy, and we'll look to add to the position once the 250 becomes the support over that side. And this is Apple here. So yeah, I think we could pretty much vacate our bearish count, which we've got wave 3. Well, we've got wave 3 sitting over here with an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for this here to make wave 4. But if we took this as the high, then we need to look at this as the A wave here, and then an A, B, C here for this B wave coming in here. So I don't think that's the case. I think that we'll just end up going up here as wave 3, in line with the other markets, wave 4. And wave 5. So we're going to be sitting up higher for all of this. Let's just go to the tick chart. That's 120. Okay, so let me just go back a bit, just before we go there, really. So the 140 is going to see some type of correction here. It may pull up higher here, but once again, what we have to consider here is that we're at 140, so we need to look at, well, group 2 below, which is the 136. 50 here and 72 and 8, so that's all of group 2 there. I thought that's 42, 43 here, that's the top of group 1, and 141. I'll put 5 in here as well. So yeah, we should, it may not be the case, but we'll need to consider this type of movement across here for wave 3 and 4. It may not be the case, but in terms of stops and your exposure, then this distance here is what you'll need to accommodate if you're going to show some intestinal fortitude and end up here at the 150. 4 never really gives us a big problem. It's 3 and 5, the numbers next to it, are the ones that we, that we'd use. So this is the next level here. So this 150 is a medium level. So I'm just going to put it on a straight line and double it up. So that's the big one at that point. I don't think that bearish count is going to do much for us, but yeah, and this would also give us a buying opportunity as well through here as well. It could pull back to this wave 4 here for this. But I don't really like this here either. I mean, I've counted correctly as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but it just looks a little bit small compared to wave 1. So we may have to, we may just have to do something about that. Yeah, we'll need to lift that up a degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5 does make a nice 1 and 2, but does that put that there as 1 and 2 as well? So what we might do here is we'll just start to morph it, but I need to give it a bit more thought. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 in here, and then blue wave 1 and blue wave 2 at this point. It was kind of nice and sharp as an A and a B and a C. It wasn't like a sideways wave 4, so to speak. And still, that's going to be a bit short for this one too, isn't it? Little bit short. Okay, I'll give that some thought, but it's nothing we have to really worry about. All you need to worry about here, 2 things here, is that's the number that we want to get to, but you'll need to handle anything, a swing from 143 back down to 136. It's probably not the case, but it's something that you'll have to consider. Okay, and yeah, you can, if you're thinking about buying, then buying back at this point here would be anywhere within Group 2, 138 to 136 in here. If you get the opportunity, that's where you'd want to pick up. And of course, our last one is Alphabet. And yeah, so it's got further to push up. I can't have that wave 3 there, it just doesn't add up. Yeah, just look at the personality of structures. You know, this makes a nice wave 4 rather than a 1 and 2, and this makes a nice 1 and 2 rather than a 3 and a 4. So it's not sitting quite right with me just yet, but we don't have to worry too much. We know that we're bullish, and we have further to go. In this case here, we expected this sideways movement to see a little pop up, which we have. We've got that little pop up there now, and what we should, well, it'll probably prove me wrong and probably just go straight up from this point. I don't see, I can see 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Yeah, I don't think, I should just delete this here, and let's just be open-minded about this. This could just continue to push up, you know. But what we are looking for here at the 250 is some type of little first high above the level, and then some pullback, and then we can look to go long at that point. I know that we could have bought back here, but I didn't, and I knew it would pop at some point, but yeah, I still wanted to wait for support here. So that's what we're going to look for here, see if we can get it, and I'll do some more work on this. But we know that, I mean, what a fantastic trend, you know. I mean, you can just buy anywhere. And like I say, the 250 shouldn't give us too much problem here, the 2,500 rather. It's just a medium level, I call it 25 to shorten it, but it's halfway between two major levels. But this is the number here. This market should end up at this price based on what we're seeing in the bigger trends. So yeah, look, there's still a lot of money to be had here, and as I pointed out, this trend will take us through into 2022, the way that it's looking for the S&P 500. Alrighty, well, enjoy your holidays, and thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.